Okay, folks, welcome back. And we're going to continue working on the stuff that we started working on this morning. And let's get some more lights in here. And that is, what the hell's going on here? Okay, we have these Pack 36s. We're just going to move them off to the side. They bounce. And the Pack 40s, same thing. We gave these a wash of the Strong Tone Army Painter. Actually, we gave everything a Strong Tone Army Painter wash, including these Soviet 45mm anti-tank guns as well. And the Sherman. And the T-26 wreck here. Let's get some of these usual suspects the hell out of the way here. Super readers, yeah, we're going to need those shortly. So this morning we did a comparison of the Americana, the Deco Art raw umber as opposed to the folk art raw umber, and it looks like it's hard to tell because this one's so damn transparent. This is the one I was using before, but the folk art covers better, and that's what we're going to use today. We're going to use that. That's the base ground color around on both of these. So that's what we're going to focus on, is on the Panther bunkers. And maybe, just maybe, we can get them done today. Maybe. Okay. And one of them is mostly dirt. This is the one that would be like in the middle of a Berlin or something like that. Actually has a shell casing here. Yep. Got a shell casing here too. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start on both of these is we're going to paint the ground. Paint the ground on both of them, and while that dries, we can work on other things, because that takes a little bit of time to dry. Okay, let's take a look at this brush. This brush is probably just fine. It does need some TLC though, that has been abused. Or maybe this one's a little bit better. This one's a little bit better. All right, so let's use my necromancer skills on this brush. Just a little bit of hand sanitizer. Takes all this old paint up. Neutralize that with some water. Folk Art Matte Raw Umber. Of course it's matte, but they actually do make this in semi-gloss and glossy paints. If you're so inclined to do something like that. once again, I don't know who makes this one. But it is a metal turret. The turret is white metal, lead, whatever you want to call it. Heavy as all get out. And the same thing with this one, even though this is going to be concrete. And since we still have this out, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this T26. You know, that's not going to be our focus. And there is a soldier down here. A casualty. And of course, we're going to need this to dry. So we're going to go ahead and rinse this. And we're going to go ahead and put the base color on the concrete. And for that, we want to use pavement. We're going to come up quite a bit, but I want to put pavement. Do we want to do pavement? Yeah, this is like the core color of what it is here. Pewter gray. Let's do pewter gray and add black to it. That way we still have that same base there. It's just darkened. How is this pavement? I use pavement. It looks like, damn, it looks like Panther gray. Let me get this in the back of the equation here. And normally I look at these Panther turrets and be like, these aren't going to turn out well. But I got lots of experience. I'm going to put some of this in here because if we're going to end up dry brushing this Hessian type camouflage. In my experience, I'd be like, I don't like how these Panther turrets turned out, but I've done lots of these Dunkelgelb things, and that's exactly what it looks like when even though it turns out looking good at this stage of the equation, it doesn't look like that. It looks rather skeptical, but I know not to worry about those interim looks at this point. After doing lots of Dunkelgelb vehicles. Then we'll do the same thing with it. Oh man. The same thing with this one. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to close this up. Now we'll grab this pewter gray. Kind of expecting a phone call, so I maybe have to check that from time to time. One thing we won't be doing on these Panther turrets is we will not be putting a turret number on these tanks. It's kind of a wet dry brush there, and basically invisible. It's still too wet. I'm just not used to that. I'm not used to like, okay, I can't move forward. Why? Well, it's too wet. Well, it's too wet. Yeah, it's pulling the other color underneath. We're not ready to do that yet. in that case, we need this to dry a little bit. I don't really want to hop around. My preference is never to hop around, but I also don't want to stay standing still. This Sherman looks totally different than, oh man. Got a little bit of goop on there. All right. Solve that. This, unlike the primer, is not self-leveling. So this corgi actually looks really good. We gotta wait for that to dry up just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and mess with the Panther turrets then themselves. And for that, I'm going to get, and you'll get to see why I don't really like these paints. I don't like these paints for dry brushing, for hand painting. I do like them for airbrushing. They're great. They're great for airbrushing. I'm going to grab the Dunkelgelb Mid-War out of here. It should be in here. Am I missing it? I am. Is it this one? No, it's white camel. Yeah, I'm missing one color. Okay, well, it's here. Let's see. Rock brown. Rock brown should be in this set. That's what it is. That one should be here. And this one should be here. Right. Mid-War. Hey, Marcus. So we're going to dry brush. Come on. You can do it. Oh, did you twist on me? Worst thing about these paints is this container. It is, you would think it would be easy to set these in here, and it's not. You have to put them in there, and hopefully they don't fall side by side on their side. There we go. Nice t-shirt. Yeah, I had to get one for the concert that went to last month. Last month? Yeah. The concert that almost didn't happen because of the weather. That was a mess. Mostly due to lightning. Never go to a concert that isn't covered. That would be a disaster. That'd be a disaster. It was bad enough with it being covered. Okay, so here's the mid-war Dunkelgelb. I got all this shit all over me. How you know he's a king? He's got shit all over him. I'm not used to this whole, I can't paint this because it's drawing business. That's like weird. That's really weird for me. All right. So I'm going to take this mid-war Dunkelgelb. I'm going to go ahead and place it here. And then I need to grab a brush that has not been violated too badly. Yeah, wish me luck. This is like rape of brushland. God, they're in terrible shape. They're really bad shape. Really bad shape. Let's use one of these. Since I'm eating more cottage cheese than I can than anything else, let's try this. Let's try this innovative way of doing this. I'm going to take this brush, which looks to be okay. Let's see how much of this gunk we can get out. That worked pretty good. Neutralize. Wipeify. Okay. And these are just El Cheapo. Royal in Langnickel or whatever they are. Wer ist mein Langnickel? Yes. I'm actually not dry brushing the same color back on. This is actually one brighter. Did it? We're going to get the edges. Get almost all of it off. I will not be putting turret numbers on this vehicle because it's not a vehicle. This is the same painting method I use on my other vehicles. No need for extra track as well. Just think of the savings. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, extra track for the vehicle? Yeah. I don't need an extra track for this. Although I bet that there's some of these turrets that actually had extra track on the sides of the turrets just for extra armor. I bet there's at least one. Mine won't have it, but okay, this is the one that goes into the ground. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna look good. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for it to look good. This has the squish here of the epoxy, and it's not going to break there again. So I'm going to add some camouflage onto this to cover up that right there. So somewhere along the barrel, we're going to cover that up. And let's just do the same thing with the other color. Careful, we don't want to break this. It was actually a nice turret. Other than it came to be broken. Just edge chipped. Which I could probably leave it that way and it'd be alright. There'd be a story behind it, but it's unlikely I will do that. Somebody was desperate to sell this. They sold this for $1 to me. And no, I didn't have to haggle them. I'm not a haggler. I'm like, I either agree with the price somebody's selling something or I walk away. Okay. Now we can go back to the metal, to the metal. Now we can go back to the concrete. It just needed to dry a little bit. And there's a couple shell casings here. We'll paint them like that's what they're supposed to be. Let's take some white. Making sure it's the folk art one. It's a lot drier. All right, and a little bit more. Let's see what we're looking at. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I'll be right back in a moment. Okay. And then we'll need to do this same thing on the slab here. Doesn't look like much right now, but it'll come up. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. All right, let's rinse this thing out. And the color that we did over this one was, I believe, Territorial Beige. I believe Territorial Beige was next. Then we did, what's this one? Is this Fawn? Yep. Country Tan, Country Ass Tan, and Sandstone. Country Ass Tan. Territorial Beige. All these colors, they don't make them anymore. They're not called the same thing, so we're going to have to get creative when we have to buy, when we run out of these. I never considered using these at all, ever. And then I got them, and I'm like, well, it seems a pretty stupid thing to have, but not for scenarios, it's not. Now, I haven't really thought about what color I'm going to paint it. That Hessian. Don't have to worry about the dead zone with these. No shit. Well, this one I do. This one, no. No, you're going to get hosed. And as far as I can tell, they had a machine gun in there. So, you know, a coax and a Panther turret. Yeah, that's a problem. Dead zone. Whoops. Yeah, only depresses 8 degrees, but you know, it's like a foot off the ground or something. It's really, really low. See, before I'd be like, I don't know if this is going to turn out well. After doing all those ground things, I'm like, yeah, this is going to look good. This is going to be some good looking shit right here. Okay, let's have a little bit of this dirt kind of overspray on it. It ties it in together into the ground it's in. You don't need an airbrush. I mean, I'm never going to airbrush this well, ever. It's just not going to happen. You know, I can't do shit like that with an airbrush. I'm not that kind of wizard. Just a little bit of this dirt that oversprayed on here helps tie this into the environment that it's in. Okay, and that is Territorial Beige. Bye-bye. All right, who's next? Fawn. Fawn. Yeah, this almost looks like Georgia clay. But it's got to be a warm color or it just ends up looking shades of gray of things. 50 Shades of Gray. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the 50 calibers. You'd think they would sell, 1/72 scale 50 calibers and, as robust as the Plastic Soldier Company ones. That's what ideally what I would like. Those are very robust stuff. And I could use 20 of them probably, because a lot of these 3D printed vehicles don't have any on them, or they do and they're like embarrassingly bad looking. All right, so we're going to go over this. And there's a shell casing here and a shell casing over there. And then same thing, we're going to tie this into the terrain it's in. Okay, and the same thing with this color. And again, we'll have a little bit of carryover on top of that. All right, and on top of Fawn, did I do that right? Did I mess up? No, Country Tan. I made a mistake thinking I made a mistake. I was mistaken in thinking I made a mistake. Oh, I'll make one, I just haven't made it yet. This color is extremely watery. this one? Yes, we did. Okay, then the last one is sandstone. I might be able to get some for you. Remember the old Revell U.S. infantry kit? No, I don't. I probably need a dozen. But they need to be pretty robust. The plastic soldier one companies would be perfect. Like, why don't they make extra ones of those? Because they're plenty robust. Because there's no point in buying like an M10 and then there's like there's no Modus that goes with it, you know? I mean, you need one of those. I don't remember if I added this color or not. I may not have. Let's take a look. And it doesn't have to look exactly the same. Oh, but I did do it on the roads. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this sandstone. It's only going to have a little bit of it on there. And I don't need them anytime soon. I'm just verbalizing. Things have happened in the last couple months where I'm like, I should do some 3D printing. But nope, I'm not doing any 3D printing. Takes too long, takes up too much space. I'm going to get frustrated. Rather just buy it from the UK or, you know, wherever some stupid shipping price is. Take a look on Plastic Soldier Review, okay? Revell U.S. Infantry, okay? Yeah, they need to have pencil mounts too. All right, so some of this kicked up and there's some dusting around here. Nope, this one goes here. Yeah, that looks pretty freaking good. Now I'm gonna take this. This is the final color. Yeah. I don't like how this turned out. That was easy. And this one's on the ground. So this one should be even dustier by rights. What am I looking for? The U.S. Revell U.S. Infantry? I'll take a look at them here in just 1 second. have a feeling. I'm not sure what color Hessian this should be. Let's see what this looks like over here. Oh, it looks just fine. Of course, this one's going to be in the middle of the city streets. And we do need to do the wash. Probably should have already done that. You cannot have enough 50 calibers. Yeah, especially with the 3D printed vehicles. Don't have any. Steve, welcome back. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. Good to know you're around. All right, let's look at your suggestion while you've piqued my curiosity. Plastic. Soldier. Review. Yes. Okay. Manufacturers. It's probably easier to find by periods than manufacturers. World War II. USA Infantry. By, who did you say? Revell? Hey, Maroon, what's up, man? Revell. US Infantry. That could work, except it needs to be in a pintle mount. Actually, those figures actually look pretty cool. You know, if they made an extra ammo set of stuff, like they do for the Germans, for the Americans, that'd be perfect. I'm not worried about it. I don't need to buy armor. I don't need to buy tank destroyers now, anyways. I need to paint the stuff that I have, not mess with the stuff I don't have. I want this camo netting to have a little bit of a green tint, greenish to it. Okay, so I'm going to even though we're probably going to end up using one of these buff colors to go on top of it. Let's go with something like this. What color is this? Hausa dark green. Been working on these 2 German half tracks, but had to scratch build the interior for one. Yeah, they got to have some kind of an interior. Just like the U.S. tank destroyers, they got to have an interior, you know. So if it doesn't come with one, then you got to build one. Got to, or it's going to look funny. All right, went with the darkest one, and it's still kind of light. And we're going to go over this anyways. So let's see what happens here. I think this is going to work. I mean, you know. Let's get the sandstone on top of it. Let's add the sandstone to this. And a little bit more sandstone. And then we're just going to go, let's rinse this out. It's not going to be that green, don't worry. Like, oh, what have you done? I mean, it's a pretty color. It's just, that's not where it needs to be. The real deciding factor is, let's get one that's a little bit smaller than this. Which German hat tracks have you been working on? Germans only made a million, a million different kinds. That armored one that they made that usually has the Nebelwerfers on it. Let's say it's called a Panzerwerfer or whatever. That's a cool looking half track. It's like armored or something like that. I don't have any of those. All right, let's get the Nolan oil out here. I know, but which SDK of Z? Just a straight one? Is it a D or a C and what color is it? Let's get a nope. Yep. That's it. That's the one. These are super readers? They are. Okay, cool. House B. Ah, this is the Matchbox one, huh? It might be somebody else's, but the Matchbox one's a B. I think, or is it an? Yeah, I think it's a B. Pack 36, the door knocker. Matchbox ones, but they're very expensive. Both have a Fujimi's. I have a Fujimi and a Matchbox one. The Matchbox one's pretty small. Really, really pretty small. But those Matchbox ones really, because they're out of print, they're just out of production. Just out the wazoo price-wise. Oh. Okay, so that is pretty much done. We'll do the same treatment with this one. I'm just going to leave the mantlet chip like that. I'm not a fan of the look of the D half tracks. I like the gray ones, even though the D ones were a lot more common. Every time I check the price on eBay, it's way more than willing to pay. However, the Fujimi one was only $20 shipped. That was a good steal. Ow. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to pay that. I mean, I don't need anything. If I needed something, yeah, I'd pay for it. But that's the problem with steals. If you've gotten some steals before, it's like hard to pay full price for something. Like these turrets were $1 each. Like, yeah, I'm not leaving those for somebody else. The minimum shipping on things is just like it just seems to be killing everything. Although I gotta order some stuff today. I gotta order the Vallejo primer. And that AK Dunkelgelb, I'm about to run out of that. I wish eBay had a function like search for this, but don't show me any items from this seller, because there's some sellers, and you know who I'm talking about. There used to be one that did a bunch of 15mm figures, and every time they sold them on eBay, like they took photos, and they couldn't waste their time with like posting pictures that that had all of their like spears and stuff. Like they were like spaghetti. They're like all over the place and like all whack looking. Like if you're gonna take photos of your stuff, like straighten out your spears, man. Don't show them like all like. Anyhow. Yes, that's the daughter.
Can they hear me?
They can now.
Oh.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, if you're going to sell stuff on, the thing that surprised me is I talked about this a little while ago, is there was a guy who posted, I forget on 1/72nd scale wargaming or something like that, one of the wargaming things, and he's like, "Hey, I got a bunch of stuff to sell," and I know I would have just like kind of ignored him. It's unlikely somebody's going to have a bunch of stuff that I'm interested in, but his location happened to be like really close to where I live, which was unusual. He had just a couple of pictures of what he had on there, and I messaged him and I said, "Hey, listen, do you have any 1/72nd scale armor?" Because he had just a bunch of figures, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got some. I got some here." And he showed me a couple of pictures, and I told him I was local, and I asked him if he had, and he was like, "Yeah, it's in the box somewhere." It's like he wanted to sell this stuff, but he didn't want to tell me what he had. Because I don't mind driving out there, but it's like 30 minutes, which is, not, but I don't want to go out there if it's a waste of time. It's a waste of his time too. Surprising, wholesome. That was the one without interior, so here I am filling in what someone forgot to do. I got the first one at a train show for only $5. Thought it was missing the machine gun. Lucky for me, Fushimi provides an option for either a pack or the MG-4034. Surprisingly wholesome. A Panther painting stream. Am I missing something? Oh crap, I didn't put live chat on. God bless it. Surprisingly wholesome for a Panther painting stream. Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit of the Nolan oil helps. If it was enamel, it would probably be even better, but I just don't have it in me to deal with freaking enamel. It's just a pain in the butt. I didn't want you to coat this stuff in like a clear coat and then put the enamel that's shiny and then come back and like, hey, I ain't got time for that. I choose not to have time for that. I'm going to run some Nolan oil here in between the Hessian and the concrete. That stands out a little bit. A little bit of an optical delusion. Coming around to the Vallejo game wash that comes in the big tub with like the basing stuff. Well, tell me how it works. I wouldn't mind giving that a shot. I was perfectly happy with the Games Workshop, and they just, there's reasons why they make their decisions, but they just don't. They're not conducive to me wanting to buy their stuff. They go up on their pricing structure, and they went up on their price, and they lowered how much stuff you get. Like, come on, man. I see what you're doing, you know? Yeah, we're going to leave this chip off. That's a reasonable place for something. Did a ricotta. Oh dear, some poor kid got roped into getting enamels at the shop yesterday by a well-meaning but out-of-touch assistant. I didn't want to barge in and say, there's a viejo and set it all right there, yeah. Yeah, or... Why do they have testers, you know? Why do they sell, like, testers paint? Like, with, you know, the tiny little things. They're useless. And the testers brushes are even worse. Yeah. Well, you know, you're not going to be able to see what the hell this looks like unless I take a photo of it. So I'm going to pick up some of this stuff. I'm going to pick up some of this army, and I know you can buy it. I know you can buy it in a much larger amount for cheaper. But I'm going to buy the Army Painter razor wire. Look, it's like $10 shipped. Well, they may have it in the store, right? But you can't call when they have a competent person answer. And I don't want to drive over there. It's, you know, it's it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of gas. So this is what, 10 meters or something like that? Like that's I got that's plenty for now. So I'm gonna buy some of this razor wire, and because we gotta make some good Lord, you'd think I was like a drunk. I'm not, I'm just senile. Alright, let's see if we can. Unfortunately, you're going to see that ugly splice there of that. We'll have that covered in no time. Now, the only thing I like to do is, on the photos, I do like to edit them, and I just put auto. Because it's too washed out. And this looks a little bit more what I'm seeing. It's a lot less white kickback. And what does Flanagan and Dickerson. Not appearing in this film. Sir, not appearing in this film. Not bad for a fucking dollar, man. $1. I figured I'd get $1 worth out of entertainment, you know. Now, this Hessian looks exactly the same as that gauze. Interesting turret hatch. Is that one that was specifically built to be a... Yeah. Sometimes they buried the Panther tank, and I didn't think they were that common. They were actually pretty common. And you know, if the Panther has a weak point in its defense, it's its side armor. Guess what? No side armor. The side of the turret was fine. I mean, obviously not as much as the front, but yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty. Of course, we'll have to seal them. We got to paint. We got a couple of pieces of brass ordnance there. Let's take care of that. Let's get the black out. Let's cover this. Is that sealing wire the same stuff marketed as wargaming? Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy it straight for because I don't want to buy like a huge amount and then it be like the wrong thickness. I'd rather get the right one. You know, it's 10 fucking meters. I mean, how many of those am I gonna need? 2 at the most ever in my life? I mean, I'm sorry, it's 4 meters. Still, it's 15 feet of it. Okay, so sure, I coil it up. I mean, I'm buying one package and just seeing how that, you know, it'll be fine. What if I hate how it looks? It's not likely. At this point, I'm like on a roll. You know, at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about what I can and can't do. And we haven't even added a little bit of. Oh, this one won't have grass. This is in the middle of a. These go in the middle of a city street, so there shouldn't be grass growing on this one. Oh, this is interesting. This is extremely interesting. I've actually never done this before. There's a time and place for everything. This is black brown, camouflage black brown. And this lid looks like it's got black brown on it. How truly weird. Okay. Well, I don't know where the other one is. We're just going to, we'll just do the black. How strange. I've never had that happen before. This looks like the right one. It's just like the interior of this is like the camouflage black brown. Something strange happened. All right, let's get a little bit of moisture. Better than a Normandy gun turret where most were just from French tanks because they destroyed any. Yeah, and those have a really small gun. I mean, these are deadly to. There's few tanks that can survive the Panther. There's few tanks that can survive the Panther on that board. It's 50 meters away or something like that. 50? 100 meters away. That's point blank range. I'm curious to see how accurate these weapons are. Like, I have a feeling a lot of these vehicles are going to be on the move, and that's going to make it a little bit more reasonable. But being automatically hitting everybody every single turn, that shit would get old. But yeah, sometimes these were just a turret that was on the ground. Sometimes there was like a little bunker underneath, even with like a bunk bed and stuff like that, like sleeping arrangements and stuff. I'm not sure they use them. I'm not sure that they use them in France at all. There would have been some on, like, say, the West Wall and Italy and places like, Silo Heights and stuff like that, I would imagine. Berlin. Maybe not Silo Heights. Some place that they've had a while to prepare for it. And they got a coax. So, if you're dealing with infantry, that's kind of a pain in the butt is, something that's got that sort of a situation happening. What is this? This is old gold. I think this is what we're going to use for brass. I do have the one that's called brass. We use the living shit out of that when we were doing ancients. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Maybe we use old gold to highlight it. It's called bronze. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put bronze over it. There's just two casings, right? Yep. Yeah, this one actually looks really good. I'm going to come back and highlight it a little bit more. It almost looks like an oil painting. That's the look that I like. I was a little bummed out that I worked on all this stuff this morning. I didn't have anything to show for it. Like, it's all fine to prime all this stuff black, but I didn't finish anything. Like, there's nothing new to show. Like, come on, man. Old gold. See how bright this is. Nah, that's good. Ding. This is perfect for like a scenario with like a 76 millimeter Sherman. Got a couple of those. Actually, I have 5 of them, I think. Let's put them on the board here. So see what you guys think. See what you guys think. Let's see, where we're going to put them. Let's move these bunkers out of the way. Let's put them in front of this. Let's put one on one side of the road, one on the other. Let's get some additional lighting here. Additional lighting over here. And let's turn this around. Push this over. Yeah, so you got one here, and you got the other one here. Yeah, that's they're not really above the ground. I wouldn't want 75 millimeter L70s firing over me. Of course, that's what you get for being a Nazi. Don't be such a Nazi. Yeah. Trees falling down. This is the crown jewel of my innovation right here. Is this tree shit right here. That one's too big. There you go. Put this one over here. Yeah, this. I'm taking credit for that. I'm taking credit for the hand sanitizer as the cleaning brushes. Yep, not going down that road. Yep, you're not going down that freaking road. Yeah. This one, I think with it being that low to the ground, the only dead zone it has is the space between the end of the barrel and the ground. Like, you're not going to land a shell in here because the barrel is longer than it. Other than that, it's pretty much going to hit anything. Yeah, you're not going to go down that road. Not going down that road. Who we got that? I got a lot of American tanks that don't have nicknames. You know what that means? Opportunity. Opportunity knocks. Here's one of these pre-painted ones. like Shermans. I mean, yes, they're not attractive, but they're gorgeous compared to Lee's. Oh, I mean, you know, the problem with a Sherman is the one thing I think that makes them really unattractive is their running gear. I think the running gear on a Sherman is really unattractive, but it was very practical. Like it made sense, but it still wasn't attractive. But I happen to like Shermans, especially because I like putting some effort making them look good. And I also like stars that have the little circle around them. You know? Edith. Yeah, that's not even worth shooting at with a 75. Yeah, well, you know, the nice thing about the turrets is that if you blow one of them up, it's real easy to take the thing off. Come on, you can do it. You're like, pop! That's only if you have an explosion. And there's like an active fire or something like that. If there's not an active fire, well, it's just like this. Anyways, I'm glad I don't have to buy these things. Well, I got 6 of them? 5. I don't think I'll need more than 5. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Let me check on one thing. Okay, and that's where we're going to stop. So we will pick this up next time. Let's put some more light in here. We will pick this up next time. And yay, we got something knocked out. So, all right, folks, thanks for coming by.
Bye.
And yes. And we'll see you guys on the next one. One more bite?